Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, and welcome to where energy meets the divine. Before we go to the phone lines, I would like to talk about joy and also just thank everyone for all of us coming together and helping each other on this incredible journey here on Earth. We all chose to come here and be here at this time. We knew it was going to be an extraordinary experience, and we thoughtfully thought out our life and all the particular opportunities we could have while we're in physical form. So I'm grateful that we all get to spend this lovely time together twice a week where we learn new things and people share their questions, and we continue on the expansion of our consciousness, which is truly about changing our perception. Once your beliefs start to change, your energy begins to shift and your life morphs into something more in alignment with what you would like it to be. On that note, I wanted to talk about joy because I think it's a highly underrated emotion. I don't think very many people experience it. I do think it's a choice. Obviously, there are certain things that bring spontaneous joy into our lives, and everyone's different about what could bring them joy. The other day I was walking, obviously Charles, in the park, and I heard a bullfrog making, the very loud sound. And it felt like it was right underneath my feet. I was on a bridge and there was water below. And when I looked over, I could see the frog, and I was just like, oh, there he is. And then to my delight and surprise, I saw a beaver swim by, which is one of my favorite creatures to witness in the wetland park. And I see maybe one or two a year, sometimes not even every year. It depends on if I happen to be at the park at dawn or at, sunset. It just depends. That brought me so much joy. I was just tickled to pieces. So those are kind of spontaneous moments that we could have. And again, not everyone's going to be thrilled when they see a beaver floating in the water, but we all have significant indicators of what can bring us joy. So those are the spontaneous moments. But all the other moments, I don't want to say they're manufactured, but we look for them, we create them, we invite them, and we sit with them. We allow them to be in our lives, where most humans are thinking so negatively. They're lowering their frequency, their vibration, they're lowering their experiences. And most importantly, when you're not in joy, you are cut off from your intuition. So your intuition is always there. It doesn't dissipate. It's not that it's missing from you. It's a part of you. You are light. You are part of the universe. You're part of God consciousness. Of course, you're intuitive, but they go hand in hand. Joy and intuition go together. Someone very wise pointed this out to me in terms of, I knew it was true that when people are in high vibrational energy, then they connect to their intuition, but how really when people can seek out joy by choice, and that means you need to know yourself well. You need to know what really brings you happiness. You need to be aware of the fact of when your energy is low, which is the opposite of happiness. And then you need to move in your life in a way to create balance and joy. One of the first creative things that anyone could do is to stop listening to your brain, because the brain is just full of negativity and fear. Fear is the opposite of joy. It is also an illusion. So when you spend time listening to your brain over and over and over and over and over again, you're going to lower your vibration. Anybody would. If I listen to my brain over and over again, I'm going to be in low frequency energy. What happens when you start to allow yourself to have joyful experiences and high vibrational experiences every day, when you drop your energy, it becomes really obvious, and you pretty much do everything you can not to be in that space for very long. For a little while, it's fine, but Nah, it's not going to get you to that place where your intuitive muscle lives. So I listen to people all the time who are searching for their intuition, which is a natural part of who they are. You can't be alive in the universe and be unintuitive. It's impossible. Intuition is just a different form of knowledge. It's actually the most accurate, the most complete, the most fulfilling knowledge, where logic is much less of that. I mean, it's important for us to have logic to keep boats on water and airplanes in the sky, but there's a simple layer to logic that doesn't give you the full story. That's why a lot of intuitives and psychics have fulfilling lives, happy lives, because they get to, not that you can't, but they know how to get into that intuitive frequency and that intuitive vibration, which gives them a much layered look even at world events. This is why sometimes psychics don't share their impressions or their opinions about world events, catastrophic events, horrific events, because they can see the whole entire picture of what's really occurring. And when intuitives try to explain this to people who keep their energy low, they could be accused of being selfish or of not being compassionate or crazy. Now, when you keep your energy in high frequency and high vibration, you are calmer, you're more relaxed. You don't allow yourself to listen to hours and hours of social media or news, because you can feel the dichotomy between where your energy is when you're happy and where your energy is when you're not in happy frequency. And again, you start to choose to be in that higher vibration. And you start to notice more clearly the path, what your spirit guides are expressing to you, what the universe is sharing with you, because the universe is communicating to everyone all the time. It's kind of like there's logic, which is a form of human knowledge, and then there's massive information, which is a form of knowledge for all beings that exist. Even the frogs and the blue herons and the beavers are connected to intuition. Everything is connected to intuition. Glaciers are connected to intuition. And then you hear the whole story of the intuitive process of what's really going on instead of a fragment from the human perception. And it does not make you less compassionate at all. It allows you to maintain compassion, but not to lower your vibration into the frequency of fear and worry and terror. So they go hand in hand. If you want to know more about your connection to your spirit guides, if you want to know more about your own intuition, if you want to work in the intuitive world as a healer, a psychic, a medium, pick your pleasure, or all of them, you can do all of them together as well. You will need to find joy. Now, a lot of humans think, well, if I have that thing, I'm going to be joyful and then my energy will be elevated. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did, seriously, but it goes against quantum physics. Everything is about like attracts like. So wherever your vibration is, that's what you are attracting into your life. If your vibration is, let's say, vibrating at a certain lower velocity, you're only going to attract vibration that is in that same frequency. That's just physics. When people tell me how worried they are about the earth, I remind them that she also is a soul, probably multiple souls. She is also learning. She cannot be more conscious than the beings who live upon her. She can't be. So she's as conscious as certain parts of the world and as unconscious as other parts of the world. And she's learning herself. And I think she's actually the happiest she's been in documented times. But I'm an intuitive, so I allow myself to have layers and layers of knowledge instead of just one human perception of awareness. And because I'm an intuitive and I know how powerful individuals are, including planets, I also know, but I was told by the universe that if the earth wanted to get rid of us, she could have. She has already, extinguished life on the planet before. All she'd have to do is cough and burp and fart a few times and we'd all be gone. But she actually loves to nurture and she loves where we are in this evolutionary process. So I'm talking to you about this because I cannot express more how beneficial it is to be happy. If you have any question about anything in your life, you're going to have to raise your vibration, which means become happy about something authentically for you. And that means you have to figure out what makes you happy. And things can change. Maybe beavers don't make you happy. Maybe in a few years, blue herons won't make me happy. But for now, those things make me happy. And so then we follow that and we repeat. It's kind of like, just keep putting it on the spin dial on the washing machine again and again and again, just reintroducing happiness and happiness and happiness. I know I've already said this before, but there are even 2 blue heron watercolored paintings across from me that you guys can't see because they make me happy. I know they will make me happy. So I want them in my office where I'm doing work, where I want to be as conscious and high vibrational as possible. So just know that intuition and joy go together. And so if you're having problems feeling your path, listening to your spirit guides, understanding the multisensory world, check under the hood for your joy. Where is it? Could you increase it? And the answer is going to be yes. I mean, oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. And why don't you practice raising your vibration, getting happy, and then seeing, feeling, knowing what happens after that? Do you get more insight? Do you get answers? Do you move into peace? Do you move into relaxation? Do you become surprised? Because intuition is incredibly surprising. Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about before I go to the phone lines. And now I'm going to head over to them. Thank you for all your phone calls. I love them.
Hello, Marie. This is Paul. I'm living in Bastrop, Texas, which is 30 miles east of Austin, Texas. I have a question about contacting and communicating with our spirit guides or guardian angels or what have you. I've always had a problem with that, and I need some advice about how to ask some questions about a very profound, sublime experience I had in 1981 in Tempe, Arizona. And it has haunted me all these years. And I've really wanted to get some insight and some understanding of what it was all about. So, if you have any skills or tools or anything that I can use to have better contact with spirit guide. I hear everybody has a spirit guide, but I've never been able to communicate with one. Please let me know. I appreciate what you do, and bless you from the bottom of my heart for all the wonderful, positive messages that you have to share. So, thank you. God bless. Bye.
Thank you, Paul. I don't think this event that happened in 1981, so over 20 years ago, um, I I don't think it's going well more than 20 years ago. This happened a very long time ago, Paul. I don't think it was as I know it was a big deal when it happened, but I think today if you looked into it, it's might seem like, wow, yeah, that was an extraordinary experience, but it's ordinary now. I'm supposed to have these experiences. You have 19 spirit guides, a lot of guides. Do you need to get happier? Yeah. So if I were measuring happiness from 0 to 100, just to give some sort of logical perception of where your vibration needs to be, you're at about 40. And I would love it if you could be at least 70. So we want your happiness to increase by 30 vibrational points. And so you're going to have to work on that happiness because that's where your spirit guides communicate from. It's not that they're not communicating to you. It's just that you can't hear them. When people lower their vibration, it's almost like their antenna of the multisensory world becomes so quiet or so distant. It's as if we're really far away from our spirit guides, which we're not. They're standing there. But because our vibration is low, the volume is low. The images are low. The feeling is practically absent. So you're going to have to get happy so that you can raise your vibration and connect to your 19 spirit guides and allow them to give you information about many things, not just this thing. What would be really fun for people is if they would keep a journal and start to ask questions about all kinds of things. I love to ask questions about many things that are happening in the world personally and unrelated to me. I love to have all kinds of multi-layered answers because there really are solutions, quite frankly, they're solutions. And when you're asking the question, Paul, you want to use the phrase, please express to me whatever's in my highest good, because the universe only communicates whatever's in your highest good. That means what you really need to know. I was working with a client recently who had lost a loved one, and I was sharing information to this person about the loved one. And the person wanted some more defining information about that loved one to make sure it was that loved one, even though I described this person well, communicated important facts that there's no way I could know. And I do my very best to, please clients, and so the person wanted to know what their loved one did for a living when they were on earth. And I communicated that to the departed person, but the departed person only did one thing. They showed me how soft their hands were. So I knew they did not work in hard labor. And I told this to the person, which apparently was satisfactory. And I explained to her, the human being who I was translating information for, that loved ones want to communicate really important, necessary things for the person who's still alive. And that's extremely critical. So when we raise our vibration, we get to hear and see and feel what our departed loved ones want to communicate to us, because they know more than we know what we really need, because they can see our past lives, our future lifetimes. They can see the interaction we had from a multi-layered perception, which is 1,000 times more accurate than knowledge, about our union and our time together. So I hope this is helpful. And it's kind of proving my point that I talked about before I answered your question, Paul. Everyone's got to get happy. And the weird thing about happiness is that you just feel better. The body feels better. The immune system improves. The cortisol levels decrease. The fight or flight situation, which plagues humanity, lessens significantly. And then we're in higher levels of consciousness, and then we can get solutions to all kinds of problems a whole lot faster. We could solve terrible diseases, although diseases are also here to help humans depart. So whenever anyone leaves their body, it's not a mistake, ever. Nothing went wrong. That is how that soul wanted to leave. And souls are very particular on their departure, just like they're very particular on their entrance to the earth realm, and even who their parents will be, who will raise them. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Thank you, Paul, for your question.
Hi, Marie. Love your podcast. I was just wondering if I could see if there's any messages from loved ones that have passed away. I'd love to get some guidance from them. And also, I was just wondering if I had any energy leaks that you're aware of. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.
Bye, Carrie. Bye, Carrie. Do you have an energy leak at the back of your fourth chakra, which is really one of the most important vortexes in terms of we don't want to have a leak in the fourth, and the first is the other important chakra. We don't want to have a leak. We don't want to have leaks of life force anywhere, but those are the two major areas where I'm like, we don't want to leak there, because the back of the fourth is the highest receptivity center. So it's supposed to be sucking in energy, not blowing it out. And receptivity helps generate all the things in our lives, our health, our well-being, our success, our happiness. Everything requires subatomic particles, everything, in order for it to work. Holistic vitamins and herbs work 1,000,000 times better if people are receiving energy. But if they're not receiving energy, then they may need to go to more Western medicine approaches, which may not work as well if we're also not receiving energy, but they are tougher, so they could create change faster than holistic remedies, which holistic remedies are preferred. One of the things, I don't know why I'm telling you this, Carrie, but one of the things that people don't understand I get tons of interesting emails, by the way, from people who listen to the podcast or other things that I've been a part of. And a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of ill people on the planet who refuse to take good care of their body. They refuse to eat healthy. They refuse to rest. They refuse to get therapy. A lot of people on earth. Now, I receive information from, luckily, a lot of people who do take their health seriously, but it also takes time for patients to break old patterns, to stop eating high levels of sugar, which if you take, supplements and you're trying to heal a disease and you're eating large amounts of sugar, it can make it really difficult. Or people who don't sleep and the body needs rest in order to rejuvenate. So that's why modern medicine is still an active part of the human consciousness for healing, which I also believe God made everything, not just herbs and vitamins, which are my favorite. I have my own pharmacy. I was raised to take vitamins and herbs and eat healthy food. I was raised that way, which was weird when I was young. Now it's normal. um, so we have a lot of people on the planet who go to McDonald's regularly and wonder why they get sick and don't understand because they just haven't had the education about, cellular interaction and toxicities. And then we have a lot of people who have a lot of emotional pain who've never done inner work, who unfortunately get sick. And what would help them to get well is actually inner work and emotional work, like therapy of some sort. So that's why when we have populations of people who won't do what I consider basic things that probably needed to be done, not that they needed to be done, but it would have been great if they were done since childhood or early adult years. That's why we still need forms of modern medicine. And again, I don't know why I'm saying this to you, Carrie, but I am. I know why now. Because you have some departed loved ones who are on the other side who didn't take good care of their bodies. And it caused them to age prematurely or to gain some diseases that could not be contained by holistic or modern medicine. And again, when souls choose to die through illnesses in their body, it's because that's the way they want to leave the planet. And our job is to honor that and appreciate it. So there's a woman who, when I think of you, shows up. I don't know if she's your mother or a grandmother. Whoever it is, she would be on your mother's side. So if your mother's still living, then this would be your grandmother. And she's extremely proud of you for taking good care of your health and for consciously looking at it. She says you sometimes stand in the grocery store and read the descriptions of the food that you're going to buy, which I think is extremely important. That's why some of us only shop in certain health stores. I read the back of packages that I buy all the time. One of the things I'm constantly looking for is added sugar. I do not want to eat a lot of added sugar. It's not that I dislike sugar. I just want to eat sugar when I want to eat it. I don't want it in everything that I eat. And it kind of is in everything that you eat. So who I think is your grandmother, she likes to go shopping with you and she looks over your shoulder. She was very frail when she passed away, by the way, very frail. She looks to me like she lived a long time. That might help you understand if you're not sure which grandmother. I think whoever I'm talking to is on your mother's side, by the way. That she's like learning from you. Many times when people cross over, if they have a family member that they loved or adored or feel that love once they cross over, and that human being is actually doing something that they hadn't learned in human form, they sometimes go and study. Let's say if someone crossed over and they weren't a great parent and they have a child who's an amazing parent, they may follow their child around and take notes about their parenting. So this woman actually follows you in the grocery store and watches you shop. She says you smell the fruit and the vegetables. You look at organic versus conventional. You read the back of the packages, and you also feel your body. And she's commending you on that. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Hi, Mary. My name is Keiko. I live in the Bay Area, California. I've been listening to your podcast over the last 4 or 5 months or so. I have a quick question about my dear best friend. His name is Samuel. and I've known him over 20 years. We used to date back in days, like when we were in college. Now we're in the 40s, but we've been stay in touch as a best friends. But he's been suffering from severe OCD in the last 3 years or so, and it's gotten worse. And he lives with his parents currently. They take care of him. However, he refused to take medication or seek any treatments.
Right.
He was on a spiritual path for the longest time, and he mentioned something about having an experience of a Kundalini awakening when he was in mid 30s, and since then he's been having interesting symptoms, and recently it shows as symptoms of OCD. He has it very, very severely.
Right.
Hard to prep food for himself. He hasn't taken showers. It really disrupts his day-to-day lives. And his parents wants me to visit him and care for him as much as I could. But I live in the Bay Area. He lives in Southern California, so it's a tough situation. I go visit him as much as I can, but yeah, and I don't know what to do and how to help him. And I know everybody has a free will, so they have their own way to form their own path and make their own decisions in their lives. But he told me once that he is having a hard time to connect with humanity,
Right.
and he doesn't know what to do. He feels stuck, but yeah, I'm not really sure how to help him out. If you can give me some advice, that would be great. I really, really love your podcast. I'm learning a lot about spiritualities and energy work in general, so I appreciate what you do. And yeah, I look forward to hearing your advice on this situation. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Adele. I'm so sorry that your friend is having a hard time. It's more than OCD. I mean, he has some serious psychological issues going on. Almost, although it's not this, but almost a little bit of schizophrenia. He's been this way for a while. His parents are not helping. They're enabling him, by the way, at least from my perception. And I'm not an expert in this field. Obviously, I mean, I've certainly studied it and worked with patients with mental health issues, but they aren't forcing him to get better. It's almost like he needs to be put in a facility. I know that sounds terrible, almost as if his parents need to put him in a facility, which I don't think they will do. So here's what I recommend. So when we have a situation where people won't take care of themselves, and that's not uncommon with a lot of mental health diagnoses, and it's more than OCD, by the way. It is, he won't stop listening to his mind, and his mind is not a friendly place. So he's in constant negativity and fear. If he could stop listening to his brain, that would help enormously, but he won't. He was raised with too much logic in his life versus magic and intuition and awareness and consciousness. And I know it sounds terrible to have him institutionalized, but his parents won't do it anyway. So here's the next thing that could be helpful. If we can get a bunch of people vibrating their energy in positive reflection for Samuel, that could have an effect. It could have an effect immediately, but it could also have a long-term effect. So if his parents belong to a church, if they have some sort of religious connection, and they would maybe ask the church to pray for him, or maybe they have friends who have strong religious perceptions, or I don't know what word to say about that, because sometimes religious people will pray for complete strangers. And it's actually better if there's people who don't know Samuel and don't know his situation, because we don't want people to get in this place of, oh my gosh, he's suffering. That's a low vibrational perception. That's not as helpful. We want people to be in high frequency energy. There's actually something that could be helpful that's coming to mind, even though Samuel does not have cancer. There's a gentleman, his name's, I think, William Bankston. I've interviewed him once or twice when I had the radio show. And he is a professor in Virginia. He runs a lab on healing. His book is called The Energy Cure. He actually has a formula in there for healing where you could do cycling. It's a form of energy work, and put Samuel in there, but you have to be detached. But most importantly, and we've talked about detachment, so you might have to listen to last week's show if you need a reminder. Most importantly, they have healers within his research group. They mostly work on cancer patients and cancer patients who have never had chemotherapy or conventional care. But I would reach out to them. If you write to Energy Intuitive, I will find his contact information and send it to you for his research lab. I'm sure you could find it on your own, by the way, and see if they would put Samuel into the research where they have people who do healing. I think they use Mr. Bankston, if I'm saying his name correctly, his healing modality, which is cycling, which I love to use for manifesting, by the way. I think it's an incredible modality. And they're going to be neutral about it. So that's critical. Like, his parents are enabling him. They haven't set rules. He gets to do whatever he wants. They're just going to baby him, which is not forcing him to perhaps get out of this. Another thing that could work for him, but I would try these other things first, is perhaps some psychedelics. There have been proven, psychedelics that are working on the mental perception of humanity. It's worked well for people who have, serious addictions and serious mental health issues. I'm not sure about schizophrenia, by the way, which I'm not saying he has that, but he has some aspects to it. It's like schizophrenia, probably, if we, break it down significantly, which we will over the next 15 to 20 years, it's truly a disease for most people that's about severe emotional pain. It's not just genetic, as it has been proclaimed. There have been people who have healed themselves from schizophrenia, and they did it through a lot of emotional work. And Samuel didn't learn how to be with his emotions. He has emotionless type parents, from my perspective. I mean, they're caring, but they didn't teach about feelings. And he has a lot of them. I hope that's helpful. So some ideas. And no, you can't go help him. He won't even let you. And his parents have a lot of rules about what help means. And theirs is about enabling. Yeah, it hasn't helped. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Judith. It's like Judith, and I'm from Hungary. My question is about my life purpose, my spiritual work. I believe I used to do my spiritual work for a long time, but when my parents passed away and I also had an accident, I kind of stopped doing that. And since then, I've been doing another job that I don't really like, and I have been trying to get back to my life purpose. But it feels like it's not happening, and I have no idea why, but I've tried so many things, but it's not happening. And I have also developed a silent reflux, and I can't even sing properly anymore. And I've always believed that my life purpose has been intertwined with my relationship with man. And right now I have no relationship and no spiritual work. So my question is about, I really would like to get back and do my spiritual work. So if you have any insights on this, and also on my relationship with man, then I would be really grateful for that. So thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Judith. What I love about your story is that the work you're doing is not a part of your life path, because it lowers your vibration, lowers your frequency. It doesn't make you happy. it's important for humans to know what it feels like to have one's energy elevated and what it feels like to have one's energy low, because that is the universe talking to us. It's literally communicating. It's saying ding, 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 or nah, nah, nah. It's telling you yes or no. It's not complicated. Communicating to the divine is not a complicated thing. You take the brain out of it and it's very, very simple. I wasn't sure about your question if you meant your relationship to mankind or your relationship to a partner. All of our life purposes are about our relationship to humanity. All of them. Our purpose is to be happy and joyful, and then that happiness and joy spills out into the human race and allows others to change and to grow, even if we never meet them. People can be in completely different parts of the world and inspire each other, maybe because they knew each other in a previous lifetime, or they had similar experiences in a previous lifetime and were somehow connected energetically, even, hundreds of thousands of miles away from each other. So when people hold themselves back and don't allow themselves to live whatever they've decided is your purpose, and your purpose is what brings you joy. And we have multiple purposes, but everyone does have career type purposes for their life. Everyone does. It could be raising children. It could be being an artist. It could be hiking glaciers. It could be many, many things. But those of us who like to work, our work will be a part of our purpose as well. Some people don't like to work, but it doesn't mean they don't. Everyone works to some degree all the time, constantly. So I would take notes about what brings you joy and I would practice them. Again, it's good for you to recognize what doesn't bring you joy. I'm not saying you have to quit your job tomorrow and, go running through the woods scared, trying to figure out what your passion is so that you can create a livelihood, but to take steps, important steps, and be honest with yourself and raise your vibration so that you can easily decipher the universe. So I can't quite see exactly what you're asking me because your energy is too low. I do know that it is helpful for the human race, for humanity. I think you have great love for humanity, but you need to raise your vibration, even for me to read it. That's why some people, when I look at their energy, I can see massive parts of their life purpose. It doesn't mean they're actually going to do it. I'm always shocked by how many people do not move forward, even when they too know what is in their best interest. I guess I'm surprised by that, but maybe I'm more of a risk taker than other people. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. I truly do. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Yovita. I live in Texas. So my question would be about my job. And so I do have a nice job. I have a good job, and I really enjoy it. But this particular job really does take a lot out of me and a lot of energy, and to a point where every single day I come home and all I can do is really just
sleep,
go to bed and sleep until the next morning, until the next time I have to go back to work. And so I feel that it's not very sustainable in my life to continue this kind of work. Plus, my family doesn't see me very much because basically I'm at work or in bed sleeping. So I've been always thinking about maybe starting something on my own with what I already am doing, but maybe have my own small business, or maybe start looking at some other areas where I could be maybe a bit more a better fit to where my energy levels wouldn't go so down. So I just wanted to kind of ask you if my guides are telling you something that I need to know or hear, and right now I'm not sure, like, any decision that I make, it feels that it might be just my ego talking, or I'm not even sure if my intuition is talking. So I hope that's not confusing, and I really appreciate you, and thank you for your help. Bye.
Thank you, Jovita. No, that's not confusing. Your body's communicating to you perfectly. It's telling you it doesn't like your job. So you have to take it seriously. When the universe communicates to you, it actually will respect and honor any decision you make. Most of humanity does not follow their energy. They don't listen to it. And then they wonder why they have bad relationships, or, they get fired from a job, or they get sick because their body's exhausted, or other things happen to them. So your body's telling you in no certain terms, this is not the correct career for you. When that's happening, whenever this is happening in anyone's life, unless it happens for like a decade, like there are many, many people who stay in jobs, for 30 years even, that they didn't like and exhausted them, and the opportunities decrease. So when the energy is talking to you, it means there's opportunities are available for you to have different career paths, to have different jobs, different interests. But you have to start looking at different things, not logically, and feeling your energy. Does that make me happy? Ooh, does that make me happy? Does that make me happy? Does that make me happy? And then start investigating them, and then go apply for those jobs or create a career path. It's not your ego at all. The ego is fear related. When we are feeling joy, we're outside of our ego. We are dancing with our authentic self and the communication that we're receiving from our higher self, from our God consciousness, from the multisensory world. I hope that's helpful. So you're not supposed to do that job anymore. It's exhausting you. The answer is obvious. And now you need to get creative and start looking around and feeling what could be a good match for you going down the road, and then trusting that. Even if you stay in your job while you build a business, or stay in your job until you find another work that raises your vibration, that's okay too. You don't have to, again, just quit. But you want to give good faith to your beautiful awareness and consciousness that knows you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing. It's not going to help you. It's not going to make your life better. There are many ways to create wealth, and this is not one of them for you at this time. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Mari. Thank you so much for the amazing work you do. I appreciate you so much for taking time for our questions, and I'm very excited to have your perspective. I'm currently in Michigan because of settling my parents' estate, which has taken 2 very intensive years and is ongoing as I'm now on my second major house leak, resulting in remodel. It's been a ton to manage, and for a long while was really draining, which I think really impacted both my health and my business for a period of time. I do believe I'm rebuilding my energy now, which feels great. I'm having more fun and feeling connected in more ways. And it's also clear I'm doing a ton of healing and growing in this process. A lot is shifting, and I'm really pleased about that. And meanwhile, I'm living in limbo between 2 places, which is getting pretty old. Most of my possessions, my partner, many resources are all in California, where I've spent most of my adult life. And I definitely miss some aspects of being there, though there are some very different things to love about being here in Michigan. And so I feel pulled in between. I do need to start making some clear decisions about my residence, as it impacts many other parts of life. Each time I have decided I'm definitely letting the house go here and going back to California is when the leaks have happened. What is this about? And how can I get clear on where to live? I think you would tell me to stop thinking and just get in my heart and body and listen. I have been trying to slow down, and have also been asking for direct guidance, but the messages have seemed inconsistent, and I'm not sure what to trust. Recently, I have been hearing I'll be living here in Michigan for the next 1 to 3 years, which is a bit surprising to me. And then I was offered a sign to look for, but the sign didn't appear, which is really confusing. So I'm hoping you can offer some guidance and clarity on where I'm meant to be living and what this process is about for me. I really want to be where I will expand and thrive. And I'd also love to know how I can trust my intuition and guidance more. Thank you again so much for all you do, and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much, Mari. Very interesting situation, because even if there's leaks, you just hire contractors while you sell the place. So I think this has a lot to do with your partnership. I think you love your partner, but I don't think that this is probably the best fit for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be confused. You would just sell the property quickly or rent it out or something and go back to California. This is not a complicated situation. You have made it complicated because you are not looking at the whole picture. You're looking at it from, oh, I have to take care of all this estate stuff, which is also not complicated. You either hire people to help you or you just sell everything. It's not complicated. It's truly not. You can even do a lot of it from California if you wanted to. I think this is about your relationship. So one of the things that people are afraid of is to ask the hard questions. I think it's important to ask all the questions, not just the ones that our mind tells us to ask, but the ones that our emotional body asks us to ask. And I think that if this partnership were really the best for you, you would have been back in California years ago. But it's probably holding you back. This is what's probably holding you back. Not the property, not your parents' death, which I'm so sorry that they've crossed, not the estate. I think it's this relationship. And I don't think that your partner is a terrible person or anything of that nature. But sometimes in relationships, we hold ourselves back. If you're a super giver, if you're super kind, I certainly have been guilty of that, where I kind of move into that feminine role of, over nurturing my male partner and over adoring them and helping them so much. It brings me great joy. But it does rob me of my energy in my own life and my own success, my own happiness. So you might be guilty of that too. I think this is where the questions come from. Has nothing to do with the leaks, has nothing to do with the estate. It's a blessing you have these resources available to you in Michigan. You could have sold them a long time ago. That's not the issue. The issue is the relationship, and that's not what you're looking at. One of the things I do every day when I automatically write is I just write a general question. Please express to me whatever's in my highest good. I do that every day. And even so, I miss a few things, but I get invited into that layered aspect of knowledge and consciousness about my own life and my own well-being, about where I need to be looking or examining or asking the hard questions. So I think the questions are about your partner. And again, it's not that this person is terrible. I don't know who this person is, obviously, at least I don't think I do. It's about, can you maintain a relationship and make sure that you're being fed, which is why you're staying in Michigan, because you don't have to take care of someone or nurture them. You get to focus on yourself, which is actually a blessing, especially for women or men who overgive. When women overgive and they can have a life of their own, it's like winning the lottery. I'm not kidding. It's like winning the lottery. Okay. Those are my thoughts. I wish you the best of luck on that. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. What a privilege to be able to share and connect with you. I have questions around my potential psychic abilities. I've always had a profound wanting for developing those skills.
Great.
I'm working towards becoming a therapist, and I'm engaging in self-healing myself.
Great.
There are big events happening in my life, like going to school, adjusting to my life in London, working full-time, refurbishing our house, and wanting to have children, and also finding 2 long-lost siblings that a psychic helped me get in touch with. So in the midst of all of this, and at the core of myself, I want to connect with my higher self and the higher power so I can continue healing other people. But I'm wondering, will I be able to do this considering I have a lot of brain energy? Do you see this being a gift of mine, or should I channel my energy in a different direction?
No.
I'm really curious to hear what you have to say, since I have this very strong pull to go in this direction, but I'm not sure if this is the right direction for me. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Thank you, Diana. I think the best therapists in the world are psychic and intuitive. First of all, they're not going to spend months or years in talk therapy. You're going to get through some of the stories, maybe a little at a time, and do intuitive work and inner child healing. So I think this is a great combination. Ding, 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 ding. And you are excited when you talk about it. That's a sign. That's the universe talking to you. It brings you passion and delight. Of course, this is a perfect marriage. I love it. And yes, you can do multiple things. In fact, the more you practice your personal intuition, which is harder because we're emotionally connected to ourselves, but I think it makes us better psychics in the general population if we use our intuition for ourselves and be honest with ourselves. Be incredibly honest, because sometimes I'll get an intuitive hit to do something and I don't make the progression that I need to actually follow my insight. It's not often, but it happens in my life. And that's okay too. I'm honest with myself when that happens, like, oh, I'm not going to go do that. Okay. Wow. I know the universe said that. So you're going to get lots of clarity, even as you hire people to remodel your home, even as you spend time with your new siblings, even as you're creating space and when to have children or how many children to have. All of that, all of those decisions need to be intuitive, regardless of what you choose. But I hope you always choose the intuitive solution because it is the most effective. It's going to be massively layered, meaning it's going to be affecting consciousness from your previous life to your future life. It's going to be hitting the nail on the head, so to speak. It's going to be incredible. One of the reasons why I've been successful in business, which I've never taken a business class, by the way, is because I listen to my intuition. My intuition has been my guide in my career building. Of course, I want to be the best intuitive and healer that I can be. I want to authentically be that person, but I also wanted to make smart decisions regarding business building. And I have, because I listen to my intuition. I hope that answers your question. Great question, by the way.
Hi, Marie. Thank you so much for taking my call. This is Stephanie. I'm calling because I feel on the precipice of my new adventure, and I'm not clear about what it's going to be. And I know that I have to allow and receive, and I'm working on that. And I was just wondering if you could tap into a deeper level and give me some clarity that would help me going forward. I really appreciate your work, and I thank you.
You're welcome, Stephanie. You have to let it play out. The universe loves everything, but one thing so deeply, which is surprise. It loves to surprise people. I recently took a class from Alan Cohen. He's a well-known author. I think he's published over 31 books. And I'm actively in the book writing aspect of my life right now. So I took this workshop with him. I took a online course and then they do a retreat. And I rarely study with other people, not because I don't want to, I just don't always feel inspired to do so. And I felt very inspired to go. Luckily, one of my friends wanted to go too. So we flew to Hawaii and had vacation and did this lovely retreat and went on a helicopter ride. And we just had a wonderful time. I loved it so much, but I went because my intuition told me, not my logical mind, oh, you really need to take this class because, you haven't done a lot of book writing in the last, over 10 years. It wasn't a logical decision. It was an intuitive decision. And I had so much fun. It was fun to explore. I've met Alan outside of our own work, if you will. I met him at a conference years ago when we were both giving talks, and we have, maintained a contact, professional contact, if you will. But to actually be in his class, which was incredibly endearing with really lovely, wonderful people. But that was my intuition that sent me. My logical mind would have gone, oh yeah, Hawaii is not even your favorite vacation spot, which is true. I've been there more times than I can count, but it's not my favorite vacation spot. Europe. I love Europe. That is where I've had such incredible things. But I had a wonderful time vacationing on the island of Kauai. And I've been there before, and it was just a very different experience. So I know this probably isn't totally making sense, except for this aspect of surprise. I was surprised by how much fun I had. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the workshop. I was surprised my travel companion and I had such a wonderful time. We travel well together. I was just surprised every single day. Surprise, surprise, surprise. That's what keeps us on our path and helps us. It's a validation that you're in alignment. So when you're trying to figure stuff out and trying to get the heads up of what's coming, you're going to miss the surprise. So buckle in, follow the joy, and tell us what happened. Surprise us with your newfound precipice of growth. Let us be surprised with you. Okay? All right. I hope that's helpful.
Hi, Marie. My name is Gula Neubauer. I have a few questions. My mom passed 4 years ago from cancer, and I just want to know if there's any messages, if she has any messages for me, and also how many spirit guides do I have, because I think that's a fun question. And also I'm seeing a lot of signs from my spirit guides lately, and I'm just wondering what it is that they're trying to tell me. I know that I'm on the right path.
You are.
But if there's a specific message, I would love to know that. And also, if there's any suggestions, or if you see any kind of healing profession in my for me in my future, if there's anything in the healing field that you see, anything that sticks out, that would be amazing to know about. Thank you so much, Marie, and joyful blessings to you.
Thank you. I love that phrase, joyful blessings. Of course you can work in the healing world. I mean, look how busy I am. I'm one person and I can't take care of even all the people who want to see me. I can't. So we need a lot of healers in the world, psychics, mediums, intuitive healers. All of it is the healing world anyway. So just follow your bliss. What gets you excited? What makes you go, ding? And a lot of that happens through exploration. When one of my daughters was wanting to change her career, which she has not quite quit her engineering job yet. We talk about it often. But she tried different things. She tried things that she knew made her happy. And she ended up on something that surprised her and delighted her. Working on sleep training and helping moms breastfeed. And she has great intuitive awareness in this many realms, but certainly in this realm. And she'll eventually leave her engineering job and work full time in this other realm. But you have to explore it. That's one of the reasons why we live in a body, so we can explore Earth and all the fun things that are a part of it. So go explore. Your mom misses you enormously. I don't always feel that from the other side, because when you leave your body, it's so incredibly cool. Like if you listen to all the near-death experiences, everyone that I've heard just talks about how incredible it was and amazing. And so most people don't tell me how much they miss their loved ones. They're like, yeah, they're fine. And this is so cool over here. But she really misses you. And I love that too. I love when people have had family or children and they miss them when they're on their other side. I think we're so blessed to be loved so deeply by others. Hope that's helpful. Get happy, which you sound happy, but go try a few things. Go check it out. Go read a book about it. Go take a class. Go invest some time and energy into exploring your own passions. And even though it may feel like, oh, I don't know if I have this skill set, or I don't know if I can actually do this. If it brings you great joy, I guarantee you can. You just have to put some energy into it. When I teach Reiki, the one thing I hope people do, and always surprised when people don't, but I have to stop being surprised by this, is you have to practice. That's how you learn, is through doing and practicing and being in the energy of something. Just like great chefs practice in the kitchen. They cut food up all day and go smell fish and play with cream sauces. That's part of the passion, is to be in the juice of whatever it is you want to manifest and create. Be a part of it. Drink it up, smell it, let it be in your life. That's what I think. In fact, I'm looking at I made these what if cards. This is the volume 1, the original deck. And the one that was up on my desk, I keep a deck here on my desk. It says, what if in this moment I'm creating a powerful alignment with my destiny? Everybody who wants to change their career or find their life purpose, repeat that what if question in your head until it comes true. It's a great question. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.